Do you ever accidentally click your sticks together while playing a groove? It is really annoying, but in this video I'm gonna try my best to help you fix that. What's up everyone, CJ here, hope you're all doing well. So this happens to all of us. You know, clicking your sticks together when you're playing, it's really annoying and it can become an obstacle, you know, when you just want to stay relaxed behind the drum set and play. And it usually happens when we play grooves with syncopation, like this one. See, I'm clicking my sticks together all the time there. But this is the conundrum, because unless you play open-handed, you know, with your left hand on the hi-hat, what are we gonna do? You know, we cross our hands when we play grooves. First of all, the placement of the hi-hat. Now, and this kind of forces me to have my hi-hat stand a bit further to the left of my snare drum than I would usually have it, you know, if I was just using a single pedal. Now, keep in mind, I've had this exact same setup for a number of years, so I'm very used to this setup, especially in my home studio here. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with experimenting with the placement of your hi-hat stand. So, for example, if you're just using a single pedal and your hi-hat stand is kind of where I'm having it right now, maybe you want it a bit closer. So, you know, you can move it closer so the hi-hat is closer to your snare drum. Maybe it's too far away from you, so you want to move it closer towards you. You know, just experiment with that simple placement of the hi-hat, and it can make a big difference. Now, another thing you want to do is check the height of your hi-hat. Now, again, I've found my sweet spot. What you need to do is find the sweet spot that works best for you. You know, some people like to have it really low, and some people like to have it really high up. It's all personal preference. But you don't want to have it too close to the snare drum or too low, because then you're definitely gonna, you know, click your sticks together all the time, and you're gonna have a hard time playing rim shots and, you know, more of a dynamic play style. And if you have it too high up, again, personal preference, but if you have it way too high up, I mean, you're gonna get fatigue in your arm, so you don't want to tire yourself by playing. You know, you want to find that sweet spot so you can stay relaxed, you know, without compromising your dynamics or your groove. This next tip is more technique oriented. Now, as I said earlier, most of the time when our hands cross paths with each other, pun intended, is when we play syncopated beats or shuffles some of the time. This is something that one of my teachers at MI, Tim McIntyre, taught me. And this is something that I switch between depending on what I'm playing. So what he taught me was, you know, try positioning your right hand on the hi-hat a little bit further up on the edge of the hi-hat. So up here instead of down here. So you're not crossing your arms traditionally when you're playing. You're more of like, you know, forming a number 7 with your arms, basically. So it works with a French grip. You know, you can play a finger technique like this, but I mostly use like a German grip when I play this. So this way, your left hand has a way more free space to move, you know, when you're playing rim shots and syncopated beats. And what you can do when you're practicing this is to move your hand, you know, back and forth from the different positions until you find a sweet spot that works for you. So you can try it out kind of like this. Now, I really like, switching between these because it opens up new doors, basically. So when I play a lot of shuffles or kind of like really funky, almost, Dave Garibaldi-esque kind of grooves, I really like to have my hand up here on the hi-hat instead of down here as I usually play, because if I'm playing a lot of syncopated patterns and I'm moving my my snare hand a lot, I don't want to compromise the groove with a bunch of clicks with a stick and disrupt the groove. So I can just move my hand up here and play kind of fast. I can play loud. I can play very dynamic without compromising the groove. Now, as you can see, or as you can hear, as soon as I switch back, I'm not tensing up, but I'm getting way, much more aware that, like, oh shit, my left hand is gonna get compromised with my right hand. So, it's a fine-tuning thing. You gotta find your sweet spot that works best for you. But that's my second tip. So, move your hands, especially your hi-hat hand, and see what happens. See what works for you. Now, last thing you can do, of course, is to get a remote hi-hat stand. I don't know if you've ever seen one of these, but this is a Pearl remote hi-hat stand. I've had it for a long time, but I rarely use it. But, again, it depends on the situation and what I need it for. If you have a remote hi-hat stand like this, with a wire and everything, you can basically set up your hi-hat anywhere on the drumstick. Yeah, I'm just going to put it there. So, if you have a remote hi-hat stand, you can put your hi-hat up here if you want to. You can move it here or, switch out the ride as a hi-hat. A lot of different drummers use remote hi-hats in different ways, just to have like an auxiliary hi-hat, or, Danny Carey in Tool, he uses one of these just to be able to have the hi-hat up here, because that frees up his space for really big rim shots. Harry Myree uses remote hi-hat stands because he likes to play more open hi-hat like this, not with the left hand on the hi-hat, but he uses the hi-hat over here. And Virgil Donati uses it, and a bunch of different drummers, again, uses it for different reasons. Now, just as an example, I have my PSTX splash stack right here, and if I tighten it enough, it kind of sounds like a smaller, trashy hi-hat. Now, just using my imagination, if I would not have my hi-hat here, instead I would have the hi-hat here, how would that feel like for me? So, see what I mean? You can experiment putting the hi-hat, again, in different placements around the drum set. So, depending on what you use, if you have a remote hi-hat stand or if you have one of those closed hi-hat boom arms, just to have an aux hat or whatever, try it out and see what works best for you. But, again, it all comes down to placement, in my opinion. So, again, first step, check out the placement of your hi-hat. Maybe you want to move it closer or further away from your snare drum. Check out the height of your hi-hat. Maybe you want to lower it a bit or want to raise it up a bit. Find that sweet spot. And the third one, change the position of your hi-hat hand. Whether you're a lefty or a righty, but, your dominant hand that plays the hi-hat, you can try to switch that position up and down the hi-hat and see what works best for you. The one thing you don't want to do is have your hi-hat arm, hi-hat hand really close to you and play like this, because then you're limited to finger technique and you don't get that much amount of, If you're playing a fast groove or something, you're not getting that much of a leverage if you have, you know, your arm really close to your body like this. At least you want it out here, or you can try it, have it out here. Never, you know, extend your arm and have it straight out. Never tense up. You want to stay relaxed. That's the most important part. And then, of course, the fourth thing, you know, maybe get a remote hi-hat stand. Alright, you guys, I hope this video can help you out if you struggle a lot with having your hands getting in the way of each other from time to time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber yet, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to stay updated whenever I release a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and good luck with your drumming. I'll see you soon.